In this lesson, you will learn how to book a client in Sprout Studio. Let's talk a little bit about the structure of this. When someone gets in touch with you for the first time via your contact form, or they call you and you've added them manually, they're what we call a lead in Sprout Studio. And when they're a lead, they're sort of a prospect, they're a potential client, and you're doing all the back and forth and the dialogue and the chit-chatting with them and so on and so forth. And at some point, once they're ready to book you as their photographer, that's when you send them what's called a booking proposal. And that's basically a proposal to book you as their photographer. And once they walk through that booking proposal, and once they sign the contract, and if you require a payment up front, once they make that payment, once you then countersign as the photographer, they turn into a shoot in Sprout Studio. So there's leads and there's shoots, and booking proposals are for leads. And so in this lesson, we're going to walk through making a booking proposal and how you can configure everything you can configure in a booking proposal and create this really beautiful guided experience for your clients when they go to book you as a photographer. And later on in the lesson, in one of the variations, I'll show you how to do this while skipping the booking proposal. So if you don't want to send a booking proposal and just book somebody manually, or just convert them from a lead to a shoot, you can do it and skip it. But for most of the time, you're probably going to want to use a booking proposal to give that guided experience through booking you. So before we hop into actually doing all that, let's take a quick minute and make sure that you've done all the prerequisites for this course, because there's a lot to configure in a booking proposal, and we want to make sure that you have configured all those other things that you need that are prerequisites in order to successfully build a booking proposal. And once you've done that, let's hop in here. So I've got the lead already pulled up here. This is Mary and Chase's wedding. Again, they are just a lead. It's for the shoot type of wedding. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on booking proposal under this lead on the left hand side here. The first thing that we're going to do is choose a price list. So we're going to choose wedding price list for this one. And what we're going to do now is basically build the offerings that we want to propose to them. So these are the different options that the client would have to choose from when they're going to book you as their photographer. So I'm going to give them the option of 3 packages. So I'm going to choose package number 1. And I'm going to go through and just choose the 3 different options that I have. Now, of course, once you've added them in here, you can edit them just for this client. So if I clicked edit on any one of these, I'd be able to add items or remove items or change the price or do whatever I need to do. I can modify it, and it doesn't touch the package that is living in my price list. This is basically a copy of that price list. And you can also, move these around if you want to rearrange them. Just click and drag and drop, and you can rearrange however you'd like to rearrange them. So those are my 3 offerings I'm going to offer them. Now, I'm also going to give them the option to add on some a la carte items, basically meaning they can choose a package and then they can add on as many different a la carte items that they'd like to add. So I'm going to click the add a la carte items right here, and we're going to go ahead and start choosing some options. This single quantity button basically means, are they allowed to buy or add on one of this item or multiple of this item? So for example, a wedding album, maybe it only makes sense to have a single quantity. So I'm going to add that. But if we go and add the option of having press printed cards, we want to let them choose more than one. So I'm going to leave that as that. And let's just go and add a few more here. Okay, there we are. So again, even with these, you can drag and drop these if you want to rearrange these and display them the way that you want to display them. And you can discount the price here. So let's say that I want to give them the option to add these things on, and they're going to get a 10% discount. I can choose to show that discount or just show that as the normal price, meaning it'll show the original price and then it'll have the price sort of stricken out with the new price. Or if I want to just show it as the default price, I'll show you what I mean in just a moment, but we're going to leave this on for now. So let's click save there. And then down here, you can record any payments that you've already received for this. And then you can set up the payment schedule or leave it as a single payment. So we're going to choose a payment schedule for this because it's for a wedding. So I'm going to use the payment schedule for a shoot date. We're going to set up the tax. We're going to leave that. Collection method, which basically means how can they pay you. We're going to uncheck the check option and leave it only for credit card. And then I'm going to I'm going to leave the coupons on for now. Up over here, this is where I can say, okay, do I want to send this or do I want to just book this manually? Obviously for this situation in this example, we're going to go ahead and send it. So I'm going to click yes, I do want it to send. You can set the expiry date for it. And do you want to add a contract? Yes, we do. And I'm going to go ahead and choose my wedding contract. This will now pull up the contract. I can edit the contract just for this client, or I can just leave it as is and click update. This message template basically lets me set up a greeting, a welcome message, and a thank you message. And by default, it'll use your default one, and you can configure that separately. You can add a questionnaire here if you want to have a questionnaire as a part of it. You can add an invitation if you want to invite them to schedule a date with you, maybe for their engagement session or for a consult or whatever it is. And then you can apply a shoot workflow when this lead books into a shoot. And then you can also have this link to this shoot emailed to them, which is where they can set up their username and their password. And then just down here, it's going to show you all the Sprout Assistant emails that are going to go out. And of course, any of these you can just uncheck or you can check on. You can remove certain days here. You can add more days. This basically is just like the automation engine in Sprout that's going to help you get more things done in less time. So we're going to close that out. So that's basically how you configure the booking proposal. Now I'm going to go ahead and click publish an email, and that's going to basically make the link available for viewing, and it's going to open up the email modal with my default booking proposal email already populated in here and with the link to the booking proposal right in here. So now I can click send now, and that would email the link over to the client. I'm going to click X for now, and let's go ahead and actually see what this looks like. So let's click the view link button right here, and we'll see what this looks like. So this is the greeting. This is the welcome message right here that we talked about. It kind of gives them a little greeting. It shows your profile photo, and it basically tells them the different steps that they're about to go through in this booking proposal with you. Again, it's this beautiful guided experience, and so it's meant to look very pretty, very simple, very clean. So we'll go ahead and click get started. And so the first step, like we mentioned, is for the client to choose which collection they want to go with or which package. So those are those 3 packages that I chose. Of course, I can click more info here, and it opens up this really beautiful little modal here, and they can click any one of these to understand more of what the options are in here. So we'll go ahead and click X. But let's say they want to choose that package, and it shows checked there. And now they can choose those a la carte items. So this is what I was talking about with the strikeout. This is showing the discount, showing that it was $1,200 and it is $1,080. It was $425, it is $382.50. And then when I click wedding album, you're seeing here, it just basically lets me choose it or not choose it, and it adds onto their package. If I unchoose it and then choose press printed cards, for example, because I had multiple quantity turned on, I can now add as many of these as I'd like. So that's the difference between that single quantity and multiple quantity toggle that we turned on or off back when we were building those a la carte items. So let's, we'll make this, we're gonna add 50 of these, and I am going to add an engagement book, and there we go. So basically that's now I've got this package plus these add-ons, and then down here it updates the payment schedule for the client. If they have a coupon, they can click add coupon and put the coupon code in there, or if you had toggled that off, it wouldn't even show that section altogether. So we're going to go ahead and click next. So now they have to basically fill out their contact information with you, so I'm just going to quickly fill that out, and then we're going to click next. And so now this is the contract. So this is now going to be that contract template that we just filled out. All of the variables like the package name and the package details and the payment schedule, all of that will be added in here. And you can see here it's now built this custom package with those 50 press printed cards and the engagement book. And then all of the details down here are filled out. So basically the client will now go down here and they will sign it and click accept and pay. And so now they can basically walk through the process of paying you as their photographer and making that deposit and running through all that. So now that the client has walked through that booking proposal, they've signed the contract, they've paid, this is their confirmation page just to kind of review everything for them. This is that thank you message that you had set up in that message template. This is the package they chose. Here's the payments. Here's the contract. They can basically get all these things now in one place. There's all the details of that. If they want to view their invoice, they can. This is the payment that they just made. So they can basically see all of these things again in one place. They can review the contract, which opens up another link here, and this is the contract they just signed. If they go to the bottom, they can see here's their signature, and it's still awaiting the photographer's signature. But it kind of shows everything for them in one place on this confirmation page. Now at this point, you will have gotten a email from Sprout and a notification in-app that basically says the client has signed, and it's now waiting for your signature. So if we go back into Sprout here, if I go back into their overview and then hop back into their booking proposal page, you're going to see now this page has changed. It shows the contract, it shows that they've signed, and now it's basically prompting you to sign. Notice that they are still a lead. They haven't converted to a shoot yet because they haven't actually booked you. You haven't finished your part of the contract. So you have to go in here, you have to type in I agree, and then you have to type in your name, and then you click sign and accept. And as soon as you do that, this will basically complete the entire booking proposal process and convert them from a lead into a shoot, and you'll be redirected into the shoot page with everything all set up for you. So now you can see I've moved here into shoots, and I'm in overview. It's the same shoot name here. And if I go into orders and quotes, you can see here it's created the order with the contents that they had just chosen. So this is the collection that they chose. And then we've got the press printed cards, 50 of them. We've got that engagement book. They did all those things there. So that's all good to go. The invoices are all set up here. That first one's paid because they paid that. If we go into contracts over here on the left-hand side, you can see that it's been signed by both you and the client. So if you click view contract, there's your signature, there's the client's signature, here's what you both agreed to. And everything is all organized now nicely in one place. And so the whole idea behind booking proposals is to give your client a really beautiful guided experience through booking you as their photographer. And that's how you do it in Sprout. Another way to book a lead into a shoot in Sprout Studio is to skip the booking proposal process altogether. So if you've had a client that did get in touch via your contact form, or if they were already a lead and you just wanted to convert them into a shoot and you didn't want to necessarily have them walk through the booking proposal and choosing the package and signing the contract, if you just want to go ahead and get them right into a shoot, you can skip the booking proposal process altogether, and we'll show you how quickly right now. So I've got the lead pulled up, and I have clicked into the booking proposal page on the left-hand side here. A lot of things are going to be very similar here. The only difference is that you can basically choose a package that you're going to book them under, and then it'll convert it, and it just won't walk them through on the front end. So if I, again, same kind of thing, if I choose my price list and if I choose whatever packages I want, or maybe I just want to choose one because I know what one that they're going to go with, then I can go ahead and choose that package there. I can still set up a payment schedule, and I can still do all of that. And now up here, where previously we had said like, yes, I want to send this, we're now going to leave this unchecked. I don't want to send this. And you notice that the button here says manually book. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a package, and that's if you want to choose a package. You don't even have to. It just won't create an order for you if you don't choose a package. So if I chose a package here, I'm going to click manually book. It's going to ask me just to confirm. I will click yes, and now it will basically convert this lead into a shoot, and it's going to make an order based on that package that you just chose and based on the payment schedule that you had set up. So if I go down here into orders and quotes, you can see there's the order and the payment schedule is already all set up. Now, if you hadn't have chosen a package, then it wouldn't have made an order. It still would have converted them into a shoot, but it just wouldn't have made an order. And so that's the sort of variation of how you can still book a lead into a shoot, but skipping that booking proposal process. Another way to add a shoot into Sprout Studio, if you don't want to go through that whole booking proposal process, or maybe you just want to manually add that shoot right from the get-go, is to do it just by adding a shoot manually. And so we're going to walk through doing that right now. From any page within Sprout Studio, you can click the quick add button in the top and you can click shoot. Or if you go just to the shoots list page right here, it's the same sort of thing. You can click the add new button right here and it opens up that same pop-up. And this is now basically where you can walk through the process of adding a shoot manually. And so you can set up all of the details. You can choose the client contact information. You can even add a package and a payment schedule for them right through this modal. And you can basically walk through the process of adding a shoot without adding a lead first and without necessarily having to go through that booking proposal process.